What's your name?
Lily. Well, my real name's Lilly and Saucier, but I go by Lily. I'm not married. I didn't think I would be married. I don't have kids. I didn't think I would have kids. I don't really think I had ambitions on where I would be. When I was younger, I knew I wanted to move to Colorado, but then there was no I'm going to stay there. I'm going to go here next or whatever. It was just that was what I wanted then. Mm-hmm. So work-wise, no, not at all.
Right, of course not.
I don't know, kind of. I'm the person that I wanted to be, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't think I had expectations for anything else. Really. I am not really working at the moment, which has been interesting. I don't have a schedule. I don't have anywhere I need to be at any time. Which has been oddly dissatisfying. As much opportunity as it kind of feels would be presented, at the same time it's really
accomplish meaningful things, but it's hard to do.
Yeah, well, and it's just a lot of, I don't know, I guess you have to be probably in a better place than I am and maybe more level-headed. I feel if I was able to take charge and really go for something that I wanted, then it's a great thing to have no obligations during the day. But I don't know, I think right now I'm kind of in a place to where I wouldn't be heartbroken if I had more organization or more to occupy my time with, really. My first memory is kind of a weird one because it also it's a good memory with my dad. So it's pretty much the only good memory I have with my dad. But our house had this great stereo system in it that you could play music in different rooms just by pressing little buttons or whatever. And so he loved Queen, the band, and would play Queen as our alarm clock in the morning, or music just as the alarm clock in the morning, and he'd play it in our bedrooms and in the bathroom and in the kitchen. And so he'd be cooking breakfast and we'd be sleeping and then wake up to Freddie Mercury and shower to Freddie Mercury. And there was one morning that we were, just he and I, were laying on the ground, and there was, I forget the name of the song, but all the speakers were around our thing, and he was laying down, and the line in the song, he's now I'm here, and look around, 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 and he would point at the speakers, and he knew which one it was going to come out of. I guess it was recorded in a way that, sorry, we were laying down, but it was recorded in a way that it would play on the left side of the car, and then the right side, and then the left, or whatever. And so he would point at this right top speaker, and then it would come out of there and point, and I was just I was maybe 6 or something, or 7, and needing to get ready for school, but just completely wanted to know what was happening, and it was really cool. Really cool. Yeah, if I could go back in time and give advice to little Lily, I'd probably be I don't know, 10 or 11, and I would tell her that self-love is really important, and that's something that should be fostered all the time, and just something that sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's just something that's important.
Yeah.
I feel probably 30.
Right.
And I've probably felt that way for 5 years.
How old is your sense of?
So there's these whalers, and they're killing all the whales, and the whales are pissed. I mean, understandably. And so they decide to get together and figure out a plan to save themselves. So they all meet one night, and the big in-charge whales are all right, we're gonna go under these ships and we're going to blow up with our blowholes and we're going to capsize them and then we're going to eat everybody. And they're all like, yeah, we're going to eat them all. And this little whale on the back is like, you guys, I don't know about this plan. I mean, I'm okay with the blowjob, but I don't want to eat any semen.
That's a joke. That's a good joke. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
The voice.
Don't feel like I'm in a good relationship, and I don't feel like I've been in a good relationship for the past 5 years, which is really disappointing. And to like look back at that and to have these feelings about it, like it's kind of like, well, what are you doing? And that's really disappointing to like have those thoughts, and it's really confusing to feel like it's not okay to be where I'm at. But then the only way to like exist is to be okay with where you're at, because that's the whole point of life, is to just be present and to experience presence, you know? So it's I feel very torn between, I mean, it's like the whole reason I'm home, you know, like trying to reprogram my mind and reprogram my heart and like get back on track and like be happy and have this life that I want and things that I want, I guess, that I don't feel like I've had or yet or again, or, you know. So I'm like, I've done a lot of cool shit, which is fun and like really neat to look back on. But like I am a yoga instructor and got certified in Mexico in this in just around Todos Santos, which is where Hotel California is. So that was really cool. But met these guys one weekend, and we had like free time on weekends, and so met these guys and went to their beach house, which was incredible. I mean, I say beach house, it was like legit beach house. They were staying in the guest bedroom, and like it was a 6-bedroom guest bedroom. It was huge. So was sitting in the pool with this amazing guy and having this great conversation, and was really so happy to be in this beautiful place and feeling great and like talking to someone who was great, talking about something that was like completely platonic and just like deep and wasn't something that I had had in a really long time. And so in conversation with him, he's like, oh, so what do you do? And I was like, oh, I used to climb, and I used to sing, I used to play music, I used to write, I used to... And he's like, well, what do you do? And I was just like, I don't do shit anymore. You know, like I'm in a relationship where I'm unhappy, and I'm in a job where I feel unfulfilled, and I'm just floating. And it was like, I'm not telling him this, but like in my mind, this is what I'm thinking, and I'm just kind of like spitting out bullshit answers. And through all of that, had this really kind of like profound realization of like, wow, I'm not half as cool as I think I am, or like
it's about
feel like I am.
Finding a way to prioritize.
My dad was an alcoholic, and my biggest challenge growing up was my dad was an alcoholic, and that just everything that comes along with that, I guess. My mom was wonderful. I had an older brother who was really great, and then me, and then a younger sister who, in retrospect, is really great. But at the time, she was like 3 years younger than me and my brother, and it was like 2 against 1 all the time. But I love her now. When we were kids, though, it took a hot minute for us to get along. But so he was the only boy, she was the baby, and then there was Lilly. And so whenever my dad had something to get pissed about, he was pissed at me, or like if he needed somebody to yell at, he'd yell at me. And so I had a really kind of an awkward space to like fill in my family. My mom was really great, and like I'm named after my aunt. I don't know if I ever told you that, but named after my aunt that passed away in an earthquake. Her and my mom's Venezuelan. And so their family and my uncle and my aunt and my mom were at a hotel, and they were at the bottom story watching a movie. And this earthquake hit, and a wall fell, and on top of my mom and my aunt. It killed my aunt. And my mom decided that she wanted to name her first daughter after her aunt. And so, named named me after Lillian. So my grandmother is very taken, I think, with me. She kind of sees me as like an extension of her daughter. So my dad didn't like that either.
Right.
My mom is great. My being home is amazing. Like being able to be honest with people and just like when they're like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, I'm not that great. And they're like, let's hug. You know, and it's different. Like in Colorado, if you're just like, I'm having an off day, they're just like, that sucks. And just kind of like look at you funny. So where I live now is unfulfilling. And it's like, well, why? Well, because everywhere I want to eat is at home. All the people I want to eat with is at home. Like, I just want to sleep in my bed. Right now, I have a 5-month-old puppy, and she definitely makes my life hard. I kind of like torn. I know this is, I mean, like, who doesn't like puppies? But I had a different dog who was like my soul dog. And my friends tell me that Critter sent me Choya. I'm not sold on it yet because Choya's
Still so young.
definitely still so young, yeah, and learning. And it's just patience, you know, like I know what it is. But and it's probably reflecting things that I need to
New soul, new smells, new things.
Yeah.
Like never.
Yeah. She's like having a 2-year-old. She gets into everything. She's always talking. She like wants to tell you hi, but just knocked over a bowl of water and she's soaking wet. And now, oh, you're dressed up great. I want to hug you. So, but she's great at the same time. She makes it challenging a little. She wakes me up early. I'm taking time to like figure out what I want to do with my life and like where I want to be and kind of like reevaluating my values and so my morals, whatever. And so I guess I'm kind of figuring that out and like doing it now. I don't know. Oh, so the last professional job I had, I was the sales manager for a website that sold kayaks and whitewater accessories. And I would train every incoming employee that I at least worked with. I've trained. So accountability is huge, I feel. To like, I mean, emotionally, to be accountable for yourself and how you act towards people and react towards people. And then also like professionally to just like want to do the best just because what's the point of doing less? Like if you're gonna complete something, anything, like why would you be okay with less? I don't know. So I think it's important just in all aspects, really.
Mm-hmm.
I've rafted Cataract Canyon before, which is really cool. I've gone backpacking a bunch of places, which is really cool, and I've traveled a lot. And when I was younger, I was not overthinking things as much. I was a lot more just like, I want to go here. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay. So I used to drive across the country with a new job from the East Coast to Colorado, back and forth to Louisiana, all over, every like 6 months. I by myself without a dog and just Lilly and a tent, or I'd like return the tent to REI and then buy a jacket because wherever I was it was cold, and then I had a house or something, and like I don't know. I used to be a lot more flamboyant with my time. Like just throw it all over the place, like literally all over the place. It matters to me that people feel included and understood and cared about almost. And I guess that kind of just goes with it. But I would like to be seen as compassionate and empathetic and open and accepting and loving and intelligent. I don't know.
We're coming to that.
Right? The best decision I ever made. I randomly, on a whim, had this friend that lived in San Francisco and flew out to visit him. And we, at like 4 a.m, drove to Yosemite to go climbing and was sitting in the middle of Yosemite Valley and watching these people climb on El Cap. And I mean, it was picturesque. The sun was coming out. There was fog in the valley, and it was like kind of cold. So we were bundled up and dew everywhere, and watching these little kids with binoculars and like sitting there and was just like studying political science at UL at the time and looking around just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, this is what I want to do. This is what makes me happy. And, you know, like, fuck politics. And I was trying to figure out, I wanted to teach something. Like, I knew, now I'm a yoga instructor, so like it all comes around. But I knew I wanted to teach something, and I just liked history. I liked political science. And so I figured that, like, economically speaking, it would pay better to like try and be a professor somewhere, like teach education in some capacity. And was working at this climbing gym and on a climbing team and climbing competitively, and just like all of my emotional energy was going towards that. So was really invested in that and was just like, I need to teach climbing. I'm going to do that. And came back to Louisiana like a week or two later and stopped going to classes and lost my scholarship. I don't know if they like flunked me out or if they if my grades like were recorded or if they just thought that I dropped out of school or what, but like I don't think it's on my transcript that I got all these F's and these D's from just like not going to class. But started working full time at all 3 of the jobs that I had, and moved to Colorado and enrolled in like a outdoor education program and outdoor recreation leadership, and met really amazing people and learned all of these really great things about myself and about the world, and lived in this beautiful town and dated this wonderful guy all through college while we were there, and had like a really, really great time. And I don't think my mom knows about me not going to school. So at the time I was like really stressed out about like lying about school almost. Like she'd ask me how classes were going or whatever, and I was just like, oh, they're great. And I'm like, hadn't gotten to classes in like a month or something, and was like planning on moving like over New Year's and stuff. So I remember it being like this could go really wrong. Like, I don't have any money. I'm not really like thinking about this, but I just know this is like what I need to do. So
it's amazing.
It worked out. I think of it as being nice, but I'm kind of realizing that it's like almost being too nice, and I need to have like better boundaries with people of like, and even just like absorbing energy. Like if somebody's in a bad mood and they like say something bad to me, I have a really hard time like shaking it. It makes me like, why are you being a dick to me? And like take it personal.
Right.
So I'm working on that. I think my greatest strength is, I think that's kind of like my strength too. Like being nice and like caring about people. And I like really enjoy it at the same time because I love my friends and I love the people I love. So at the same time that I like feel like it's a problem, it's only a problem because I let it be a problem. I feel like it's one of like my stronger attributes and probably like a big reason why a lot of people love me back so much, you know?
Yeah.
If I could change something about my life, I feel like I would probably, I don't know. I feel like if I would, like my life right now needs money, but like having money in my life would just make my life right now easier. It wouldn't really like change anything else except then I would have money. So I don't know. I'm pretty okay with like how things are. I've like tried really hard to just do that. Like be that's exactly that. Like just be okay with how things are.
That's awesome.
My issue, not really like an issue, but like I guess the reason that came up for me is that I don't understand why people so blindly and just almost like it's brainwashing. I don't understand. Like it confuses me as to why it's still relevant now. Like, yes, I completely agree with what you're saying, but it's disappointing, I feel, that people still think that it's relevant.
Right.
I guess to put it. I don't know. I have a real, it's not like I'm going to hate you if you feel this way, or like, and I'm just saying like the general you. Like if I meet, my sister is extremely religious, if you want to call it that. Mm-hmm. And she and I have talks all the time. Well, not all the time, but what happened the other day? Something happened and she posted something on Facebook about, I'm so glad I live with such, she has some friends that are very religious, and we're basically just putting all this shit on Facebook about how people, like homosexuals don't deserve to be married now. And it's not that it's like because of the Bible or anything. It was like right now, I believe because this is what I think. Well, and it's like, they kind of default back to like my religion and whatever, but I like had to real talk with her. It was like really hard to talk to my sister about this and be like, Emily, you're telling me that if you're spending thousands of dollars trying to get pregnant right now. You're spending thousands of dollars trying to get pregnant. And what if he's gay? What are you going to do? Are you going to love him less? Are you going to think he's any less deserving than like the child that wouldn't be gay? Like, how are you going to have a child and lay conditions on your child for your love for them? And and she was just like, well, I wouldn't love them different. I just wouldn't agree with what they're doing. And I'm just like, no, I don't believe that, because how, like, you're going to bring them to church with you and have other people tell them that they're a bad person because of who they love? It struck such a chord with me, and it made me so upset that I don't get like riled up about things very often, but it almost made it like this personal thing for me of like, there's no excuse. Everyone is born deserving of love. Mm-hmm. Completely. Like, you're born with the right to be loved by everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I don't appreciate when people feel like they can take that away from you. Yeah. And maybe it's because I feel like someone has been taking mine away, and it's more like, no. But yeah. I would want to meet fish. But I would want another clause in that wish, because it can't be another wish. It's like along the same veins. I would want to meet fish, but I would want to like see a show with them and like know that I'm gonna have a good time. I've heard from some people that, I watched Bittersweet Motel. That's what it was. I remember being younger and watching Bittersweet Motel, and Trey said something, and I was just like, no, don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole, please. I love you too much. Don't be an asshole. So like, I've like had this battle of like, if I meet him, would I want to meet him? Because then what if he's a dick? And then it would ruin like my whole, like idea of this band that I love so much. So he would need to like be in a good mood, and it would need to be this perfect thing, which it probably would be anyway, because I'd be meeting fish and Lily's super cool. So second wish would be to be Second wish would be to be like more heart present on a more regular basis. Like to be more aware of my emotions and not label them as like emotions, but just to be like, oh, this makes me happy, I'm going to do this, or this makes me sad, I'm not going to do that. And which that's probably a pretty obtainable wish to like, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling, but to almost to like be able to constantly be connecting people with people on a heart level as opposed to like on a mental level.
You want to go straight soul like all the time.
Yeah, kind of. Which, like, I don't know. I want to be able to bring that out in people like a superpower. You know what I mean? That'd be cool. Because it doesn't happen. Like, I can't rely on other people to be doing it. So I would like to have like that's it. Like a superpower to like speak hearts or something.
Wow, that's fucking awesome.
And then the third one, I don't know what I would want at all. I would want, if I had a third wish, I would want my dog to be back alive. Critter. I would still keep Choya because Choya, I like her. I know. She's my baby. But I want my dog back. If I could that's where a lot of my money went. You know, like 2 years ago or whatever, it sucks because I'm still paying off credit card bills for that. But, yeah, I miss my dog. He was awesome. I'd probably cry for like 5 minutes if I had 3 days left on Earth. The first 5 minutes would be crying. And then it'd be okay. I would probably spend the first couple hours calling a bunch of people and telling them that I love them. So, because then it's like something I'm not worried about, but like it's something that preoccupies my mind a lot is like, will people realize like how important they are to me, or do I express that enough or something? So I would touch base with everybody, and then I would probably, well, in this scenario, money is not an issue. So I'd probably fly to India and sit on a beach and eat food and just be outside and warm and with like really beautiful people and I don't know. That sounds really nice. I think some good advice that I've been told in the past is to view the decision-making process as like a rapid almost that you're navigating. So like there's rocks in the way, there's bumps in the way, there's small ones, there's big ones, there's waves and they're scary, and there's some that are fun, and there are tons of different, you know, like routes you can take down the river, and you just have to pick one. And you have to like navigate as you go. It's this constant thing that changes, and new things pop up and new waves come, and like there's a sleeper rock that's, you know, like that sleeper rock means like water's going over it and you can't see it until you're like right on it, and maybe it just hits you from the bottom, or maybe you just go right over it and you don't feel it or whatever. So to just like take it as it goes, and to not get too ahead of yourself, and to pay attention to what's right in front of you, and to trust what you're doing, and to be confident in the decisions that you make, and it's all going the same direction. So it was a pretty powerful analogy to hear at the time, and has been life-changing ever since, as far as like making decisions and being okay with what I did and not looking back and wishing that it was something different. The life lesson I'd like to share is kind of what I'm going through right now, because I feel like it's something that I never expected to be in, and I never thought I would be in, and especially coming from a situation with my dad being an alcoholic, I kind of like when I was younger had a much stronger will for like no bullshit. I don't want to be talked to that way. I don't want to be treated that way, and I'm not going to stand for it. And I feel like as I've gotten older and I've been in love, it's loosened a little. And so, like I was in a relationship that like the person talks down to me and doesn't help me be a complete person. And it's both of us. I think we're just not meant to be. But in being in this relationship for 5 years and not meaning to be for so long, or not meant to be for so long, we've really drug each other down and really hurt each other emotionally. And it's to the point to where now I have to like just switch the scenario a little bit. And like if we were hitting each other with things or hands and not just words, that it like that's an abusive relationship. And even just like emotionally abusive, that's abusive. Like I'm feeling the need to like move home and be around friends and like, you know, go out of my way to really love myself again. And so I never ever thought that that would be a position that I was in to like to I don't know, to just be somewhere where I wasn't feeling happy.
Right.
Like I don't know where it went away. And so it's really confusing to like look back at it and to be okay with this position I'm in, because I feel so lost as to like, well, how did it even get this bad? And like, why am I talking to another person this way? And it's really confusing. So I think the life lesson that I'm going through is like to it's like what, you know, I tell little Lily is like to love yourself and to be concerned with love. Like that's all that's important. It sounds so cliche, but like really that's the only thing that's important. And as long as there's like this mutual respect or understanding of love, like as I care for you, I'm not going to tell you fuck you. You know, like I love you. I could get mad at you and whatever else, but like that's not how you talk to somebody. So I'm learning this lesson of like to respect other people, and then to also have this boundary with myself of like I need to have standards for myself. And yeah, I don't know. I'm kind
I love it.
lots.
No, it's okay.
I am actually reading a bunch of books on Hinduism, which is really interesting, and I kind of identify with, I guess like if I had to identify with a religion, it would be that, because they have lots of deities that kind of just represent like character traits almost, or events like Ganesh is the overcomer of obstacles. And so like if anyone is, he's over doorways a lot, like transitioning and stuff. So he's probably one of my favorites, but it's kind of nice to like be practicing yoga and to like do bhakti, which is like devotional action. And so you can like it's almost like ritual to like make an altar. I guess it is. I'm spiritual. I like doing devotional things. I think that there's lots of ordinary things that are just really extraordinary, and they're not viewed that way because they're so common and people don't think they're important. There's no reason that people can't just love other people when it really comes down to it. And so I've been trying to like live this in my life and kind of be an example, but like tell whoever will listen to. But I think the process where it doesn't happen, like where love doesn't come from, is your brain, I don't think, wants you to be happy. Like your amygdala, it always goes to the worst case scenario. Like it could be beautiful outside and you're in a bad mood for no reason, or like you meet someone and they don't text you back and it's always for a bad reason, or it's just, there's very few people I found that like, and especially in my life, it's very seldom where like the last thing your mind thinks of is something that's beneficial to you or good in some way. So when something happens, like if we have an interaction and you say something to me or give me energy in some way, it comes into your heart first, is like where you feel it. And then it goes up to your head and it becomes analyzed and like turned into something. So like we have an interaction, oh, that made me happy. Like I get happy on the inside for like a split second before my mind is like, oh, you're happy. So I've been trying to, I've been trying to foster this in my life, but to like get people to like cut this cord of analyzing what you're feeling and like thinking about everything so much and just being drawn towards what makes you happy and just being okay with like how you feel, because it's just how you feel. So I don't know, I think my passion is like to like have it not be so labeled, because most of the time then when it's labeled, it's wrong, or like you're not doing anything on Sunday. I'm having a great time. Well, you should be doing this, you know? So I don't, it's
Free your heart
free,
from your
yeah.
mind's
Yeah. Like,
hardships.
yeah, to just, yeah, free your heart from your mind's hardships. Exactly. To like not label what you're doing. Like, why can't gay people get married? Why? Because a book tells you? Well, why? And it's just, it's overthought. All this, everything is overthought, I feel. And so I feel like if we just dumb everything down, dumb it all down to where just, let's just be okay, let's just love each other and we'll all get along and we'll all take care of each other, and not label it as like what we should be doing or what I think about or what I'm sad right now, I shouldn't be sad. Well, why? You should just be sad. And it goes away.
Go back in time in the Lilly I met.
What
What do you need to tell her to be ready?
Yeah, that's totally when I was thinking about it too.
Let's go.
I'm happy with who I am.